listening to the Outlaw Apostle Podcast. I'm your host, Troy Neff. I'm the fucking guy.
Whoa! Who knew I would make it this far? They hated, they never believe me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball. I know I make it look easy. Yeah, Mayweather with the defense. I don't care what a critic gotta say. I got them picking up the pieces. That to me, you really playing with your life. I'm about to come and run it all back. I'm the new era, about to snap back. You ain't fitting for it, cause you all cap like. Hold up, I shoot my shot, wait, hold up. I'm really about to run this go up. You know it's all net when it go up. Ain't got no other plans, you don't need to understand.
Welcome to this Wednesday edition of the Outlaw Apostle Podcast. I'm your host, Troy Neff. I'm the fucking guy, and joining me here in the studio at the controls, making it happen, is Leo. Good morning, Leo.
Good morning. How you doing today, Troy?
I'm doing good. We all got our coffee, except for
Hell yeah, we do.
Do you do coffee?
No, I'm not
You
much of
don't
a
do
coffee guy.
He's one of those.
He's one of those.
I just raw dog it.
And that's Mike joining us today.
Good morning, sir. How was your weekend actually?
Weekend was okay. Weekend was okay.
Nothing too big?
No, not really.
You go any like your usual spots or new dinner spots?
Man, I don't know. I've moved on already. Like, I don't know.
It was the Valentine's weekend.
Oh, it was Valentine's Day. Oh, yeah. So we went to Toca Madera on Valentine's.
I don't even know what that is.
It is. It's something that like is not usual, and I don't mean that in a bad way.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't typically have like 5-star Mexican restaurants.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
And it's a Mexican steakhouse.
I did not know that was even a thing.
Right. And it is. And they're very, very good. Like, and it's not easy to get into.
So one of those like it's an occasions type of place.
For some people, not us.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Because we do that every weekend. You know, other people like, no, that is an occasion for them, you know, once every 3 months or something like that. No, we fucking eat like that all the time. That's just what we do. That's one of the things I can do, and I do. I mean, being at that to me is enjoying the life, even of the 1%. And, you know, there's such a huge difference. People just don't understand the gap between the bottom of the 1% and the top of the 1%, where the gap between the 99 and the bottom isn't as great as people think it is. But it's the other gap that's huge. But I can enjoy some of those things that they enjoy. Like, I'm the only thing I'm missing really right now that I don't have to have my own plane, but the only thing I really want to achieve yet is to be able to fly private.
I mean,
or semi-private or with something like that. You know what I mean?
I would like to as well. Yeah.
Yeah. That's how to be able to do that. Then I'm like, okay, I'm good. I'm good. I'm there. But I don't know. I don't think I'll ever be satisfied. I'm grateful, but not satisfied. You know, I want to do more, have more, experience things. But yeah, I mean, we can have this pretty much a lot of the same experiences and get into that group at that level. And one of the things I can do is I can eat like a bazillionaire.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong.
You know what
with
I
that.
mean? And so I do, and I enjoy it. And I don't
Absolutely.
apologize for it.
Who
It's
doesn't
all
enjoy
good
a
thing.
good steak?
Yeah, and like really good. This is a phenomenal place. I only have one criticism of the place, and it has a great vibe, but there's a few like that, especially in, you know, Miami, here in Scottsdale, LA, where the music level, like where they'll have a DJ. Like you don't have a DJ at the Capitol Grill. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no DJ at the Capitol Grill. And some places there might be a singer in the lounge or, you know, I don't know, different things. But the music level is at a 10. So if you're with another couple, sometimes it's hard to talk or communicate. And I just wish they would just, I'm not being that old person, okay? I'm really, really not. That's
Keep it
not
down,
who I
you
am.
kids.
But 7, 8, just let me at least get some of the words across to the person sitting near me, kind of a thing. It's that loud. That's the only criticism I have. Other than that, the food is phenomenal. The management is great. The servers are awesome. I mean, it's a great experience.
Is it one of those places? Excuse me. Is it one of those places where you don't really look at the receipt? You just enjoy the time that you had there?
Well, I don't look at the receipt anyways. If they're bringing that to me, I simply hand them my card. I rarely look at the receipt.
What a stupid fucking question, Mike.
It is. Hindsight's 20/20, but
I know what it's gonna be, and I don't care. Like they had like wonton tacos, deep fried, and it was you could get either tuna or the Wagyu. And I think it was like $26, and they're small. They're like this big. And you get two of them.
I'm not surprised.
You get two of them, and that's it. And you had to order at least two of them. But they were so phenomenal. Like you're just like, oh. And sometimes that can really run up my bill as the appetizers.
That's where they get you.
A couple of, yeah,
So they're getting you no matter what, every step of the way. But that's just a start.
I don't know. I don't really use that phraseology like I'm being gotten. Like that's I know what I'm getting into and where I'm where I'm going. The only time I do look is I have to look sometimes, especially like in Miami, because even if you're only two people, they'll include 18 to 22% on the bill in the tip already. And then I'll tip on top of that to usually put it at least 30%, But if you don't look at that, I could be tipping 30% on top of what I've already tipped that they included. You know what I mean?
For sure.
So they not just some of your restaurants. I saw that more in Miami than here. It does happen here, but usually that's more rare that it happens here. If there's only 2 or 4 people, if you get 8, that's kind of typical.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
A larger group for sure.
Yeah, well, for sure. So that's what we did. But we had a hell of a time trying to have breakfast on
Sunday?
Yeah, we ended up at Vero's for lunch. No, on Saturday, on Valentine's Day, because see, all the cheap motherfuckers took their girlfriends and wives to breakfast. They didn't take them out for dinner. And so the places were packed. I mean, packed. Like literally we drove. I mean, we could have waited 45 minutes some places, and we probably should have, because it took, we drove around for over an hour trying to find a place.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
At that point, it's just like hit a drive-through. At least for me.
Yeah,
I would have gave up.
Yeah, well.
You're a better man than I am.
You want to tell him that's Yes, no. We're not going through the drive-through.
He really doesn't know who Troy is at the end of the day. Right? He's still learning. He's still learning.
I know who Troy is on the camera.
But I'm gonna reel us back in because
let's do that.
We moved
That's
on
too much.
But I mean, this kind of works into what we were talking about because we're gonna do question of the day.
All right, do that.
So not only am I gonna be asking Troy this, but anyone that is listening, let us know what you would answer to this. But Troy, what is the most unusual food combinations that you like?
I actually had it last night. And I don't know how unusual it is, but one snack I've liked for a great number of years, probably decades, I forget how old I am. I'm old. Is saltine crackers, some type of good cheese, and a chunk of dill pickle slice.
See, that's where you lost me.
Yeah,
that last part.
I mean, typical would be, not that I wouldn't put, a good meat slice on there or something like that, but for whatever reason, I like every once in a while I get that pickle. I want that dill pickle on top of there. So that might be considered unusual.
I don't like pickles, so that sounds disgusting to me, Mike or Troy. But what about you, Mike? You got any unusual foods that you like?
To me, they're not unusual, but I've been told that it's very weird that sometimes I choose to drink milk when I eat pizza, Some people are like, actually,
That is very weird.
it is weird.
That is super
I
weird
don't
to
think
me.
it's that weird.
Is that weird to you, Troy?
It's just a drink.
Milk, pizza,
It just
tomato
depends.
sauce.
It depends on if I'm maybe having a little slight heartburn or something.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Well, I don't have.
'Cause if I
Not yet. That's not. Yes, it's
oh,
coming.
yeah.
It's
Yeah,
coming
no,
soon.
I
Though.
deal with that all the time.
It's coming
So-
soon. I already
So
know.
that can help cool things off. Cool the
Oh, I
things
see
off
what you
when
mean.
you're
Like,
little.
yeah.
Yes,
That's interesting.
Just the way it coats, it's better than water.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking
You
about
know,
that.
yeah.
I know
Something
for
like
the
that.
most part, people will
Otherwise,
drink
no.
more like milk when it comes to like spicy food and stuff like that because
Yeah.
it's like meant to like lower the
Yeah.
the heat.
And I think that just, I do still drink milk, but I drink the Fairlife.
Mhm.
And I used to, I was a huge milk drinker as a kid.
Yeah.
Whole milk, that's absolutely. But not as much as an adult, but I still do that. But as a kid, milk was every meal. That's what we had. We didn't,
Yeah. It's a
I mean,
staple.
we could have sodas or, Kool-Aid or something like that made, but typically we didn't have that with dinner. Typically mom poured us glasses of milk.
Mom knows best. I fucking love
Yeah.
milk.
That was
Yeah.
always interesting because I know like back like around that time it was like a super popular thing, right? Like it was super super common for Americans to be drinking milk
All the
with
time.
like a lot of their meals and stuff like that.
When we went to school,
I found that very weird. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just because I personally didn't.
What
drink
we
milk
really
with
liked
everything,
is,
but-
just like, I don't know if you guys got to experience the square type of pizzas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
That was a big thing. But another big thing was we could pick either white or chocolate milk.
Yeah. Like the
to
carton of
those-
milks.
Yeah, the little,
Then
the
eventually
cartons.
they got some
And what was
strawberry ones.
great is because, at home it was like extra, or we'd use Quick. A lot of times we'd use the Quick powder.
Yep.
Mhm.
I mean, us poor people did. That's what
Hell
we
yeah.
did, right?
Hell yeah.
But yeah, it was cool. At school, you could have chocolate milk every day. And that
Fuck
was
yeah.
like a treat, and because your parents weren't there to tell you no, and the school just let you choose. So,
Paradise.
I mean,
Then Michelle Obama came around.
yeah, fucked it all up.
No, you know what's
damn
weird-
it.
you know what's weird about the time period that I was thinking about the other day is I like vividly remember the milk changing taste, like the chocolate milk and stuff like that, like a really
Right.
weird kind
Like
of
skim milk. That's probably what they fucking changed it to.
Because I remember like it was still chocolate milk, right? But it was like it had a weird funky taste to it. After that, I was like,
Like a tang almost
Yeah,
at
like,
the
it was
end.
just like,
Like
what the fuck's
yeah,
going on
I
here?
know what you mean. Weird aftertaste. For sure.
Perfect. Well,
All right, what
like
do
I
we got
said
next?
earlier, if you guys like to let us know what you guys would think is your most
Your weird
unusual
food.
combinations, let us know. We'll cover them next time. But next we got the Rhode Island shooting that happened on Monday.
Yeah.
So
That
I don't
was
know if you want to give
crazy. Yeah,
people a
let's do
little
that.
bit of a breakdown of what happened, and then we can kind of get into it.
Sure. Let's do that. So, Robert Dorgan, he's a trans woman, 56 years old, also known as Roberto Esposito, or Roberta Esposito. I'm sorry, Roberta.
Cancel crews coming through.
Opened fire during a high school senior night hockey game in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. He fired into the stands. He killed his ex-wife and his son and 3 others.
So sorry, I think it cut off on here on the thing, but
Uh-huh.
so his ex-wife and his son were the 2 that died. The 3 others, including Rhonda's parents and family friend, were just critically injured.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I think
I see that now.
the spacing in there just kind of messed that up.
3 spectators tackled Dorgan, and during the struggle, he reached for a second weapon and died from a self-inflicted gunshot. Basically killed himself, which is what
Yeah.
these guys do a lot of times, whether it's a school shooting or whatever it is. After they kill whoever they're there to kill, then they turn it on themselves. And
Cowards.
yeah, for sure. He used a Glock and a Sig Sauer, both obtained legally. Despite a family history of conflict, he held a valid Florida concealed carry permit at the time of the shooting. Family members and court records indicate a lifelong struggle with mental instability, narcissistic traits. His daughter described his gender identity issues as a symptom of deeper psychological problems.
Yeah, I was actually very, like, because obviously I looked into it a little bit more yesterday. And yeah, this, because the daughter was like very, very straightforward with it. Like, yeah, this guy's not been okay for a very long time. And like, there's been multiple counts, and like you'll read a little bit more down there. He had a bunch of different ex posts, like the day before and weeks prior to this, where he was constantly like just bad shit crazy. Like you said, if you scroll down
here's the thing too that sticks out to me about this is you're allowed to talk about somebody's mental instability. You're just not really allowed to talk about that and put that in the trans together.
Well, that's the crazy part.
Because then the trans community would be like, oh my God, like they flip out about it.
Because the truth fucking hurts. It hurts. You're all demented, fucking mentally ill people. I'm sorry, but you have been fed bullshit your whole fucking life. And now this is what happens. Other people died because we want to make you feel good. This is the shit that honestly pisses me off.
And they don't feel good.
No, they don't. No, but he, like, his daughter was explaining that, like, he, like it said there, like, a lot of his, like, issues with his identity or whatever it's a lot deeper than him just, like she was, like, kind of, like, breaking it down. I was like, damn, like, she must have, because like I said, they had a hella history of them just kind of constantly just fighting all the time and this and that, and so, like, but yeah, no, it's an interesting
the day before the shooting, he posted on X warning people not to wonder why transgender people go fucking berserk in response to political bashing. His social media profile featured Nazi-style imagery and stated his politics to the right of Hitler. None of that even goes together, does it?
But for some reason, that's
insane.
That is fucked up, dude.
Oh, you should, I mean, this next one this is the one when I read, I was like, damn.
On Sunday, he replied to a post mentioning the name Rhonda, stating, "I have a beloved Rhonda too," referencing the ex-wife he killed the following day.
I guess I failed to mention, but
what did I miss?
He was replying to, or he, whatever, was replying to a someone in Congress, because someone named Rhonda recently had passed in some situation, and then that was his reply to that. And then the day after was when he killed her. So there was another Rhonda somewhere out in the U.S. that passed on Sunday, and then he replied this to that comment, and then the next day he did what he ended up doing.
And it's it just seems like that just proportionally, obviously, it's a small number of people that are transgender that do this, but it seems like a lot lately. And it's really more when you're looking at it proportionally, it just seems out of whack. That's at least my impression of it. Like, why all of a sudden is this? Well, it's, we went from what, 0.5% or less than 0.5% that identified that way to,
actually,
like 2% now. I mean, which is actually a big increase. You know what I mean?
I actually looked up what percentage of people in the United States identify as anything in the fucking LGBT whatever, and it's at like 9%, which is obviously a significant jump. But when you put that in comparison, still, that's only 9% of the fucking population. So, like, again, catering to them in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, but that 9%, that's a crazy high number, though.
Compared to 91.
Yeah, but the relativity.
I'm not saying they should be taken, or catered to. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it was never that kind of percentage. It's now that you've gone from, you still only had two genders. Okay, still had two genders, but, you basically had straight, gay, or bi. You had three sexual preferences, right? I mean, or maybe you had no sexual preference at all. So maybe we could say there's 4. But now, I don't know. What do they divide genders up like 72 different fucking ways now? Like in most of the stuff, I mean, those of us that are in the 91%, we don't even understand what most of that shit even means because we don't use those words and we don't lead with our sexual orientation.
Yeah.
And we're also, well, today, this is Black History Month. What month is Gay Pride?
June. I only know that because I have a hilarious meme on my phone about it. Okay. I'll show everybody later.
But, you know, comics are good for a reason because they can, you know, point things out that are true that we don't always get to say normally. And pointing it out, and I've heard several comics do this, but pointed it out, here you have Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves. George Washington, our first president of the United States, they don't even get their own day. They share a day, which is President's Day, right? But they share it, and they only get one day. But because of somebody's sexual preference, they get a fucking month. You know what I mean? It's just insane. Just just how much it's focused on when it doesn't have to, like where I don't care, where it doesn't need to be focused on like that at all. It doesn't need to be led with that. You know, people will figure it out if it's their business to figure it out, I guess. But most of the time it's not my business. I don't care. I don't need to know if you're
it doesn't matter,
straight or gay, and you know, whatever the average just normal societal interaction is, I guess, is what I'm trying to point out.
And that, unfortunately, the normal societal interactions that you're accustomed to are pretty much gone. And this is one of the many reasons as to why. I mean, we don't have enough time in the day to go over every single reason, but this is a big reason, 100% here.
Well, I think it's a valid point that's being made that even as somebody who is a proponent of the Second Amendment, you know, I get that people who are mentally ill should not be allowed to own a firearm. But this was known as a mental illness up till, I don't know, when it changed 10, 15 years ago. It was pretty recent. It wasn't much longer than that, 10, 15 years, that the medical science doctors, all of a sudden, you know, it switched, you know, and basically forced to. They didn't have much of a choice. This was all forced on them, just like DEI and everything else, you know, not merit, you know, just bringing that all in. And for me, I miss, and people are going to see that soon in the interview we did with Alante McCullough yesterday. You guys are going to love this interview. It was really, really great. But, you know, I lament that that I grew up not caring about somebody's skin color, just not caring. I mean, that was because hate and racism is learned. It's not just something you're born with. And the exact opposite of that was really pushed, rightly so, on Gen X, my generation. And we really don't care. And it really bothers us today that we've gone backwards, and that's an issue of dividing people up like that again. Like I'm not for, you know, not celebrating whatever somebody's, you know, heritage is. That's different. But, you know, if you're my brother, you're my brother. You know, I don't put people in segments like that where these are my Mexican brothers, these are my white brothers, these are my black brothers. No, they're all my brothers. And I really literally, they meet a certain level of type of person that I want in my life, and that's what matters more. That's what determines that. and skin color is nowhere on there, and neither is someone's sexuality. I don't care. We do care when it's forced upon us over and over and over again, or we continue to hear, like just in the Olympics, one of the women skaters who was being outspoken and saying, oh, you know, in the last year, the LGBTQIA plus, what the fuck ever, you know, we've had to come together because of Trump and we're losing our rights. Name a right that somebody who was part of that community 3 years ago doesn't have today. Name what right and tell me what the policy is that Trump took that away from that community or that person. It's not there. No, we have rights as human beings. You don't get extra rights because you're part of some group like that, you know.
I thought the more letters you had, the more,
it seems
more
so.
rights.
Right, that it seems
Math
so.
works out.
And then apparently you have to do certain things in your routine. You have to hit certain types of spins, jumps, and that kind of thing. And she totally, one of the more important things that she was supposed to do, which was, I don't know if it was called the triple loop or something like that, but something that is mandatory. You have to have these things in your routine. Mm-hmm. And one very important one, she not only didn't try it, it just got skipped. So she didn't do it and perform poorly. She didn't perform it at all. And so then you get a 0 for that. And so she ended up with somebody who was supposed to finish in the medal area, you know, first, second, or third, ended up 13th. And she realized it, you know, as soon as she finished and started crying. But there's no sympathy for her because, you know, you just basically told everybody in America how bad America is. And I mean, we're over it. And now the latest thing that I see is being called, especially the last 6 months or so. If you're a conservative, if you voted for Trump, you know, all we've heard is Nazi over and over again, right? And now we still hear Nazi a lot, and being a cult member and all those other things. We still hear all that. But what is taking the place of being called a Nazi is
what, a conservative? Conservative, you mean?
Yeah. What are they calling conservatives now?
Oh,
what's
Gestapo?
Pedophile.
Pedophile. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Now that's
so many
their
names
go.
now.
That's the right. I know, but that's their go-to now. Like heavy. If you go onto social media and check X or any posts that are political type posts, you know, that's the accusation. Trump is a pedophile. You support Trump. How can you support a pedophile? And it's pretty easy. I don't think he's a pedophile. That's how I do it.
Well, most of those people,
and for 10 years, you haven't been able to prove it. Trump's name could be mentioned 10 times, or his name could be mentioned 38,000 times. It's still not mentioned in a way that incriminates him in any way. In fact, he's mentioned in a way that what you really get out of it with the last release of the documents is that he didn't like Trump. He just didn't like him.
Yeah.
And if he could have spilled some real stuff about Trump and hurt Trump, if he had some legit stuff, he would have used it.
Oh, yeah.
Epstein would have used it.
Absolutely.
To target and hurt
thing.
Trump. That was his whole thing. That was his game. So he couldn't do it. The Democrats haven't been able to do it. You haven't been able to prove any of that kind of stuff. So get the fuck out of here with that.
Yeah.
You could keep saying it over and over again, but it just like it's
old. It gets tiring.
It's very tiring.
It's because a majority of those people, they're like fucking between the ages of 12 and 16. So they hear somebody that's, you know, a little bit older than them. They assume they know what they're talking about on that side. And then they just fucking follow along. Like just one after another in a line. And I have a very very big issue with a lot of that as well. I'm actually kind of getting like pissed off, like thinking about some of this stuff. Like, not that it's actually making me mad, but just from the whole picture of it, like our whole life, everything, our reality is being shaped by a virtual reality now. And virtual reality does not translate to reality. Everything is all fucking rainbows and sunshines and unicorns. You can delete, post, fucking remix, rewind, whatever the fuck you want to do. What you do in real life, it's done. One thing, that's it. You can't take it back. And they're living life. People are living life now like there's no repercussions for anything.
Nothing.
And it's funny because we had that question of, would you rather live in a world with no rules or over enforced rules? And, you know, for the sake of the question, I didn't say anything too much, but that's kind of the world we're kind of creeping up right now.
Right.
And I really don't know what to say to the younger generation other than think for yourself. Stop looking at what's online. You know, maybe open up a book or two. That might help. But I have zero faith in the generation after me. I really don't have any faith in them.
Really?
Not because of what I see online 24/7. And it's not just this. They have no fucking shame whatsoever. I mean, you have like teenagers online basically a couple articles of clothing away from starting an OnlyFans. And where like it might like we grew up with social media, like my generation kind of popularized social media. Never in a million years would we be like, yeah, here's my ass. Everybody take a look. Like, no, you would get the shit beat out of you by your parents. Now they're talking about,
dude, grown-ass 50-year-old women do that now.
well, I see that's the thing. It's like they're 50-something years old. Like they can make their own decisions for themselves. They understand the consequences of those actions. It's when they're minors doing this shit, and then you have old ass dudes commenting on it and shit like that, and saying weird stuff. It just adds to a giant just fucking, I don't even know, a shit show, I guess is the best way to describe it.
Yeah. We did experience things, though. I mean, if you kind of go back, you know, I'm wearing my Elvis
I noticed that.
Sweatshirt today.
I like that.
Yeah. I mean, Priscilla was underage.
Oh, yeah.
She was like 15 or 16.
Yep.
I don't know, you know, if he banged her when she was 15, 16. I don't know. But I don't know. Like, I haven't really looked into it, but
I think that was one of my points
not
that I was
just
going
that,
to say.
and even younger.
But that was the
Jerry Lewis.
But that
I
was
don't even know if you're even sure who Jerry Lewis is, but he was
Jerry Lee Lewis, absolutely.
Yeah.
But that was common, right? I think that's like a perspective that people miss is the fact that we as humans evolve with time, right? So to us, what you find weird to our generation is going to be weird to the people next to our generation. Whether or not those people, because I honestly do think whether just because these kids are fucking low-key super fucking annoying and obnoxious with this and this and that, I think because of the way society works that they will eventually be better than, quote unquote, better than us. Whatever that lifestyle is, aside from that, but I think humans will be, quote unquote, in a better place, if that makes sense.
It makes sense. I just don't agree with it.
But then again, like
right.
this, the same thing. Like your generation growing up, like seeing us grow up, you guys are like,
I just
bro,
think
fuck these kids. They're fucking obnoxious. They're doing all these dumb things and
but
this and
it's
that.
like different though. It's like loud noises, skateboarding, and shit like that. We're not fucking sending nudes and
but
shit.
The thing is that the thing that you have to understand is that is to what us those skateboarding and that is what the internet is to these kids.
It's not that big a deal. But the thing is, you go down this line and it's not that big a deal. It's not that big a deal. But it is that big of a deal. Yes, like there's
to us.
Like, yeah, Elvis back in the day, they wanted to fucking lock that man up for life because he was gyrating.
And what really made me think about that was the criticism they tried to, I mean, my criticism of Kid Rock for the Super Bowl performance with Turning Point USA was the lip syncing. That was my criticism.
Yeah.
But the other criticism.
And the jean shorts.
And the jean shorts, because the jorts, get the fuck out of here. But what I didn't, there was criticism from the left wing lunatics because they always try to use our religion and stuff. I guess this is oh, because it's supposed to be more of a patriotic, more conservative, more religious based, Turning Point USA has their faith organization and stuff, and bringing up the words that Kid Rock had in some of his songs, 30 years ago, talking about underage girls. Well, he was 20 talking about a 15-year-old or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
So crazy to put that into a song, though, especially like being that, like how popular. Because I don't know him like that. How popular was he when he released that song?
Pretty damn popular.
Yeah,
like that. Come on, as an artist, you don't think about that. And be like,
like my generation, we had a lot of band shit, man.
See, but that, exactly, that's my point exactly, right? Is like you guys had the same way we have our
I'm making that point.
Yeah, so and that's why I come back to that point. Like I think. To us, it
but
seems
what we
fucking
can't
crazy
do
retarded,
is we can't hold people accountable in using today's standard for what they did 30 years ago in that standard, and that's the same with race or whatever. That's like people can change and things, but you can't. Grandpa, 85-year-old grandpa, used certain words that was the acceptable word then, and now it's not acceptable. But you can't. That doesn't mean he's a racist. That's just the terminology everybody used at that time. Like you don't.
Yes, and
like
no.
now no, but you can't hold him responsible for that. If it's something like now today, you don't say colored people, you say people of color.
That we can let slide, but when we're talking about like there's other specific things where whether you're old or not, like you understand that's a society
right, but you
norm
still
now.
should be able to. They shouldn't be canceled.
No, I
for the
think
most
cancel
part, you know what I mean?
Stupid. Cancel
that
I agree. It is
that's
stupid.
going.
That's just
that's going too far.
People should be able to live. As much as I hate to think about, people should be able to live the lives they want to live, no matter what. That I think that's just the rule of life. Whether that you're in the U.S., in Canada, and fucking wherever the fuck you are, you should be able to live whatever life you want to do. But again, like you say a lot, there are going to be consequences for your actions. Yeah. And I believe that people should have the ability to do whatever they want, and that goes along with the consequences, stuff like that. But then we run down the morality line. And
well, the thing is, I don't think like it gets to a point where we can't judge each society based on the previous society's views, but there does come a point where it's about just decent human dignity, about having like
that line of human dignity moves along with society.
It does not, and it should not. It should never.
But it does,
because
historically it has.
There is no because what's the one thing that's always been just a big no-no, not so much as a no-no, but one thing that we kind of we all know about, but we don't necessarily talk about it. We don't tell each other about it. We don't go openly do it out in public.
I don't know.
Porn. Like
what?
Yes.
Porn was like hella popular back in like 80s, 90s. Like, come on,
bro.
It was super popular, and people were talking about it here and there. There was porn shops all over the place.
You had to go to a porn shop, and you had to literally watch a porno to see that.
But again,
that's not what's happening anymore.
But think about that.
They're literally basically
you got
simulating
VHS
blowjobs
tapes
on
and
screen.
CDs,
and now
DVDs,
it's easily accessible. Like it's. I think that's my.
They just took what was. I mean, a lot of it. They took what was on a DVD and uploaded it onto a computer, and you access it through your.
It's the norm, right?
It's not about how. It's about whether or not you should or shouldn't.
But that's a line you. That's
okay. So what are you saying about porn?
I'm not. Porn wasn't the main. I'm just saying that is what more acceptable with them to basically openly just put porn out there for anybody to see on, regardless of what channel it's on, whether it's appropriate or not. Where now, back in the day, or even not even back in the day,
now it's restricted. You can't.
I was about to say it's a lot more restricted now than it used to be.
Yeah,
a lot more.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
Try to log on. Get on your phone. Right? You have an Apple phone.
And it won't work.
You're proving my point here. You're having to seek that out. What they're doing
is seek it out. No, I'm saying you can't access it without identification.
Putting your ID in. You have to go to a porn website and put your ID in.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that
they've made it harder.
They're treating every single everyday life with these same morals, the same morals of what porn represents. the immorality of it, like the deviousness of it. Like, I don't think it's that way, but that's the view that it's had for years. I don't give a shit who fucks who, but the issue is that there's a line where you can't just start being like, oh well, we're new, yeah, we can just start, breaking all.
You know how we were talking about Pokemon cards, you know, and so I was a collector of football cards. I had baseball cards too.
Yeah, I did too.
But football was my thing, and I would ditch my baseball cards for football cards. I also ditched my cards for some magazines. that one kid that out of this, there was a group of us, a small group of us that used to trade all the time with each other. And the one kid, his mom and dad got divorced, but the dad's stash, and I mean, it was a couple boxes, you know.
That kid made a lot of money.
Say that, like, yeah, he was smart. He traded his dad's mags, and it wasn't just Playboy. It was the more racier ones like Hustler and other ones, and you know, some that were just gigantic, you know, 60-inch boobs and stuff like that.
My uncle had plenty. I went through the boxes.
We would,
absolutely.
Yeah, we would trade for that kind of.
So here's
kind of stuff, but where are we at with
this? This is essentially all I'm getting at.
He was trying to set a whole point.
Well, the thing is, the only point is that these are the same women that are going to be raising their children for this and that, and they're going to be raising. If you don't have somebody that can set those morals, those moral values for you, and they weren't raised with them, what the fuck's that gonna do? What's that gonna do for society when we move on? Like, they're not gonna give a fuck about being a mom and having a stable home and helping.
That's where we're
at.
But it's there's a cycle, right?
But I think you agree.
Well, then you need to break that cycle.
But I think you agree. But look, the damage started 60. I'm looking like 65 years ago.
The feminist movement,
with the destruction of the nuclear family.
Yeah, because of the feminism.
and with the And with the welfare state not needing the man, listening to like the video we watched the other day with Carol Swain, and you know how they've broken up, especially and targeted the black community. You know, even Alante talked about that. You know, at least he had his dad until he was 13, 14. You know, but he still had his dad in his life after that. But I mean. But at least the core stayed together that long, and the difference in that, and both military and that background. And he went off and did some dumb, bad shit, just like I've done, you know. But he came back because he knew what to come back to, because it was there, and because that other thing is not fulfilling. And, you know, things go too far. And after they go too far, they come back. And that's the hope for this younger generation now. After people have left the church, this younger generation that's in college now, and why Charlie was so successful is that they're in search of that and a greater meaning to life and searching out God and that. But I mean, that was... And I think that's part of your point, but that was was all destroyed, man.
And to add on top of that, I completely agree with that. Right? It's like as outrageous as it seems to us at this point in time. There's gonna be that rebound.
Yes.
Like they're eventually, like it is horrible to say or this and that, but eventually. Historically, it always there's a cycle. There's always going to be a cycle,
but it's not going to change the way that you in the favor that you think it is.
But that's relative. It's going to be relative to what's going on in the world and what is.
We can literally pull up interviews of people on these random ass podcasts that have these different girls on OnlyFans. You know what I'm talking about? It's like
where there's like four or five girls on only one dude. Yeah, no, I get you.
Yeah,
they literally have people on there that are porn stars, OnlyFans models, getting fucked on camera, but they're like, I'm God-fearing, I love God, God is here to save me. Like, God isn't here to just save you 24/7 because you want to be a piece of shit. It's because naturally you do things as a human that is wrong. Like, we all do things that are wrong. We're not perfect, and that's what it's for. It's not just because, oh, I want to get fucked on camera, guess I should put my cross on. That's what pisses me off, is the values are completely different and the translation of it. And then that keeps getting pushed down the road.
But
further
like,
and further.
It's always been like religion or whatever beliefs, or they've always been skewed and turned around.
It's more extreme
It
now.
may seem more extreme to you because of the relativity to the time. Like I said,
Yeah.
Relative to this
why-
time,
But
why does
people,
relativity matter?
it matters a lot.
It doesn't when it becomes the moral
Less-
values of being a human.
But humans have evolved over time. Morals have changed over times. Like that's the one thing that maybe we don't see like eye to eye. Because I truly believe, like, again, good bad is a human construct. I truly believe that. So the line of morality changes with the time period. You're telling me that the same moralities that we had now are the same ones we had 200-300 years ago?
not 100%.
No, exactly.
No,
but that's what I'm saying.
that's
like,
where we're on the same side.
I think over time, whether it's 1 year, 2 years, 10 years, 15 years, it eventually works out toward, again, but I think it's a big thing on society, right? Especially the more the older generation dies off and the newer generations come in, society will change.
But see, I think it's coming back to the
family, like the OG kind of thing.
Yeah,
I agree.
where people actually, because that part does not change. People have tried to change it and everything is in the gray area. Everything is not in the gray area. For me, there's literally black and white and right and wrong, and that's what your point is.
Yeah, everything starts at home, and if you don't have a stable parent, like stable mom and dad who have a good head on their shoulders, they can lead you properly down this life, not tell you what to do, but help you guide your way through this life. They're not it's nothing but a fucking downhill spiral from there because you are directionless, and that's where some people have to find God, but not everybody is able to do that. And then you have people who I've had multiple friends in this situation, broken homes, OD'd because they didn't have direction. It's because from broken homes because they had terrible fucking morals.
I'm not going to disagree with that part, but the part I will disagree is because I have a lot of family members and that's taken that same down path, but I have a lot of other family members that went through that same path but came out much better on the other end.
I'm not saying it's impossible.
Like let's talk about Troy.
But what's probable?
Like realistically, like
absolutely.
Like we're not gonna sit here and pretend like Troy had a perfect past, but
No.
look at him
No,
now.
I didn't. I
Look
shared.
at him now. I think that's
But
my
Troy
biggest point.
For every Troy, there's about 100 people that don't end up like Troy. That's the issue. And it's more. It's so easy.
But who is that on?
Exactly, and I think that's where
I
it comes.
think
And I think
starts
that's where
at
it
home.
comes. But
It
I don't think
starts
so.
at home.
Because
But
realistically,
then that's putting it on the parents.
That's way too much.
And
think
Who
about
else would it be?
think about how
because
yeah,
there are great parents that had shitty kids and shitty parents that had great kids that like just totally go
because there's so many more
other
aspects.
way.
School,
And
your friends.
It doesn't mean that they're not influenced by their
100%.
parents, but they're influenced in a way that I don't want to be that. I don't
100%.
want to be like them.
100%.
That's their view. But it's not that in the case that you're talking, it's not that your observation is not correct.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that the responsibility is on the individual. And everyone is given the opportunity, and people have to realize that life is short, and you can gamble for how long? Like you might not come back because you're taking that gamble. I was blessed to be able to get sober. I was blessed to be that every prodigal son or daughter does not return. You're 100% right. They don't. But that's on the individual, whether they do choose to do that or not. And that's why I'm so focused and adamant about what I do today and living today and not putting it off, not saving it for retirement that's not going to ever come. In fact, that's so funny as Elon Musk, we're probably not going to be able to get to it today. Maybe we can Friday. But Elon Musk made a comment about retirement basically being bullshit, and people need to consider that. But people be like, oh, I should be able to. But if you really look at go back to your guys' word constructs that throughout history, retirement was never a thing. Everything. Now you would have your elders that weren't able to do certain things, weren't able to hunt, but they were given other positions in the tribe, in the village, other things that
They're not just sitting around doing
They're not
nothing.
just sitting around doing nothing, man.
responsibility.
Cashing out, man.
Yeah.
Pass me the pipe. That
Yeah,
fucking
100%.
no, that's
Local
not how it.
shaman.
That's not how it fucking worked, you know. And even, I mean, really, honestly, retirement is actually very, very recent. You know, because you go back just 100 years, people weren't retiring in 1920.
No.
That didn't happen.
Pretty sure the Great Depression was going on during that.
And obviously, you know, people died younger too, you know, and people would work until they died or whatever, and that shit happened. But, you know, part of mine is my own doing. You know, I could have had the financial wherewithal to do that, but even then, if I would still be a financial advisor today, if the shit that I went through, that was my own fault, the shit that I went through, if that hadn't happened and I continued on in that career, I was still never quitting. I would have reduced how much I worked to, you know, between 40 and 50%. But I was never stopping. That was the beauty or the benefit, is to build it up all those years and then be able to do that. But you know, the people that I see, I've talked about meeting the owner of the big furniture store here in Arizona.
Oh yeah.
The
I forget his name,
American Home Furnishings. The big,
yeah.
like I met the owner, dude. He's like, what did I say? He was like 93
he was
or
older.
something like that. He's still alive today. I don't think he's died. And I met him like probably 2 years ago. He was still walking around fucking stores, man, in his
Good for him.
90s.
We got a comment from Bob.
Yeah,
Shout out Bob.
yeah, I was gonna mention
First
that.
one says, "I'm the olds." Just cut. And then we got a second comment. I'm the oldest of 12 children raised by great parents. I have 38 incarcerations and was a homeless addict. It had zero to do with my upbringing.
And that's 100% true. What I'm saying is, it's not every single person that does. People can either come from great homes and make terrible decisions, or the exact opposite. But what I'm trying to paint here is, if you come from a broken home and you're directionless, and you're also in an environment full of other broken homes, other people who are directionless, you just have a bunch of fucking people they're just surviving the only way they know how. And normally that's crime, drugs, like whatever
Right.
it is. That's what I think is the cycle as a whole. Like, it'll never happen in society, but we need to break that cycle. Like,
They
There's no
have to
such
break
thing.
that
There's-
cycle
yeah.
when they're ready. That's their come to Jesus moment. They have to have that. Now,
Well, it can start with you.
Look, we
it can start with the individual.
We can. It's only the individual, and we can put pressure. I'm not against putting pressure, which would be similar to putting pressure on people to get them off the streets, even if they don't want to come off the street, that they're homeless, and getting them evaluated, and you know, either getting them the mental health that they need and providing them with that care that they need. Or, you know, helping, you know, two different paths, either that or, you know, just giving them an opportunity again, that they just got caught up in, you know, just a bad shitstorm basically of their life. But they're not mentally ill. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but there are some that are, but you have people that say, oh, you can't do that because, you know, they're individual rights and you can't tell people what to. No, if you truly care about people, we do have to have that. And I know we probably had some crazy fucked up institutions years ago and that kind of stuff. I get that. But this way isn't working either. What we're doing now, you know what I mean?
You don't think people naturally? Because again, you don't think people. There's always going to be a group of people that naturally just don't care to do that for themselves. Like even like I remember you first telling me like when you were first trying to get to God and you were very like, oh, no, fuck that. I don't want to be involved with that and that whatever. But eventually you come around, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people don't get the chance to come around. They're people. I don't know if this is like I'm a big science person. I don't know if this is biologically in human beings that just naturally some people are just meant to fucking bum it out, basically. Like that's just it's just not in animals and humans and whatever you want to be. There's always going to be a group of species that just
Well,
decides that
it's no different than there's a group of people that no matter what help is given to them,
not going to get better.
are not going to be able to get sober.
Exactly.
But the reason they're not able to is because they're unable to be honest with themselves. And the realization that people make, and it doesn't, and AA does a wonderful job at this, is that, you know, I call my higher power God. My higher power is Jesus Christ. That's my higher power. But to get help, what people need to at least acknowledge to be able to get sober is that there is a God, that there is a power greater than themselves. There is a God, and they're not it.
Yeah, you gotta put that ego
there's
down.
something else. Yeah. And some people will get that, and some people, you know, some people won't, and some people, and it just is what it is, you know. I mean,
It's like you said.
some people aren't.
You're not gonna find the way back,
I believe
yeah.
in the afterlife. I believe in heaven. I believe in the afterlife. Okay, not everybody's going.
No. I'm willing to bet, standing right now, I'm probably not at that door at this particular moment, but I can change that.
How can you say that?
Well, because I don't.
You're
don't
telling
know.
me
You don't know, and see, and that's where a lot of my points come from. Is like realistically, we don't know.
Well, that's the thing is if we go based off what we believe and you know and what we do know,
Mm-hmm.
I haven't walked exactly in the way that would be accepted.
But that's not
works.
How, but that's not how
you
Jesus,
don't have
yeah.
to do that. That's not how you come. You either believe in Jesus Christ and that he is the Son of God and he died for your sins. You either accept that or you don't, and you only have to accept that.
And
this idea that you're not good enough, or you're never fucking gonna be good enough. Even after you acknowledge God and want to walk a better life, you're still a fucked up sinner.
That's
Your whole life,
that's
you're
how
nothing.
you're built to
you,
be.
you were born a sinner, and you will die a fucking sinner. But the difference is, I tell people, I'm a saved sinner. I'm saved. I realize there's nothing I can do to make. There's nothing you can do that's good enough and to walk a certain path that now you qualify. Now you qualify. No, you never qualify. No. He qualifies for us and has to, because he was the only one able to do that. And if you do believe that, then you should absolutely believe that if you passed, you would go to heaven.
Whether right, wrong.
That doesn't mean that you don't have like other issues or confusion or other things going on, or the struggle like Leo was talking about. But what I want to really get through to you is that what you described was works. And that doesn't mean you shouldn't do good works, but your works are not what's going to qualify you. And even that's one of the reasons, because I'm a rebel, okay? So I'm a rebel. I was baptized as a baby. I don't believe in baptized babies. My daughter is probably going to my daughter wasn't baptized as a baby. My daughter is probably, I haven't asked her, but she's probably going to, but she's Catholic now. She's probably going to baptize the granddaughter. And I'll be fine with that. I'll go to the ceremony. I'll buy a fucking gift of the dress or whatever. I'll do that. But I don't believe in it. Because it has to be a choice. It's an outward action of something that happens inward. And some people, there is a sect or a segment of Christians that believe for you to go to heaven that you not only have to believe, as I said, but you need to be baptized as well. And that's just the whole reason I didn't get baptized, was because that was bullshit. And that was just me rebelling against these ignorant Christians trying to say you had to do that. No, it doesn't say that in there. Again, it's just an outward thing. It's a great thing. And I finally did it, but I did it on, my terms and my understanding of God, not what somebody else's. And it's not in there. It's just literally not in the Bible, because I spent time And when I was 18, when I was in trouble, when I was, look,
Having
man,
fun.
I don't know about having fun, but I was accused of stabbing somebody. People still think I stabbed somebody to this day. There's a group of people out there that but I got jumped and I did have a knife. But somebody tried to stab me and stab the person that I was on top of because they got my knife. There's no blood on the knife. I never got charged, but I had to hire an attorney. But people think that I stabbed this kid.
It just fucking suck.
But it actually
Worked out in your favor?
reputationally,
Gotcha.
you know,
You're right.
Yeah.
fuck with that dude. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
Fucking stab somebody, bro.
Don't fuck with him. He's crazy.
I'm
you know
not
what I'm
fucking with
saying?
someone that.
I'm just saying.
I'll fuck with someone that shoots.
But
I'm not fucking with someone that stabs.
Yeah, but that happened. And then from there, he doesn't know the story. Dude, I had one of the biggest car chases in American history.
I actually did.
That one right behind you, right
I
there.
did look up. I did look that up because he did inform me of that.
Yeah,
I was curious. I've looked you up
yeah,
before because I was like, naturally, is he bullshitting? And then obviously, no, he was not bullshitting,
No.
ladies and gentlemen. He was not. I can't vouch for that.
I had 20 fuck cop cars chasing me, and not one of the motherfuckers caught me.
You will see his picture.
But, I went through that, and I was drinking.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I didn't get, I remember one time being questioned by the wrestling coach because a group of wrestlers got busted being at a party and drinking. And the coach approached me about that shit. And I was like, fuck no. And it proved out that I was telling him the truth. I wasn't with that group drinking. I was with another group drinking. I wasn't dumb. I didn't drink with the other wrestlers. I drank with other friends that I had that we did other shit together, man. I wasn't stupid. Yeah, that kind of. But going through it, and I didn't know anything about AA at that time or anything, so I tried to get sober on my own, and search out God, because I had the church that I had grown up in is like a total disaster now. It's like a total disaster, like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like LGBTQ pastors and shit, kind of crazy shit, right? But I remember, I was, we had a process we went through that was similar to Catholicism, catechism, where they go through the classes. It was similar to that, right? And but my parents made me do that, yet they didn't go to church.
Yeah, no.
Very often. You know what I mean?
That's so
the
common,
older
too.
I got, the less they went to church. I mean, they did see when our whole group went through and we got our first communion. They were there for that. You know what I mean? But then, on my own, I was searching. I was looking. And I went back to that first. But what I started to do, you know what I started to do? I'd listen. And what most people don't do in their church, they don't take what that motherfucker says in the pulpit and find it when he says, Paul,
He's quoting
3,
like a
24,
specific-
25, they don't go to that spot and read it. And they don't read what's before it and what the fuck is after it. They don't. Right? And then there's meanings of different words, that if the word in translation was Greek or some other bullshit, you can get some real complicated shit with that.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not good at that, right? But I was at least good enough where I could be like, yeah, that's not exactly what that says, dude. Or you're missing the main point about that, dude. Or because, look, they didn't want to offend people, at least the church that I went to. They didn't want to offend people because they want your fucking money.
Yep.
But yeah.
But like a real church, if you're in a real church that's preaching the real word of God, you're probably going to be offended sometimes. And the reason you're offended is because it hit home. It hurt a little bit. You know what I mean? That's how it should be sometimes. That's just it. It's no different than when I counsel people, that are going through addiction and trying to get sober and stuff. If you pick me or if you want help from me as your sponsor, you're going to hate me a little bit. But because I'm going to tell you shit that you are not going to fucking like to hear.
Yeah.
And but I needed that. And there are other people that need that. Not everybody needs that kind of sponsor. I'm not the kind of sponsor for everyone. But I was known as that, and people knew if they come. But they knew that when they came to me, like, I know you're this way. I know you're hardcore, but that's what I need. Because that's how I responded well to. I don't respond well to weak people. You know, I responded well, like I've said before, in school, I responded to the more disciplined teachers.
Yeah.
The less disciplined they were,
the more you could be like, I'm gonna fuck around because you're not gonna do shit.
Because you sucked.
100%.
I loved the strict teachers, man. I did well. But you would think, oh, the bad kid, he can't. No, I had zero problem. And those teachers would tell people, I don't know what your problem is with this kid, but he's great in my class. And I was. But I don't know. It was all to say, you know, going back, that there's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do except acceptance. Accepting that, and then you can build on it from there, and have the questions that you have, and ask, and find somebody that you trust that can help you interpret it or answer those questions. But
the one thing I want to add before you finish
ahead.
that, isn't the whole thing about God is that he's gonna accept you, right, wrong, whether you believe in him or not, right? It's like when because that's the one thing, right? It's like you
What do you mean?
Because like deep down you can, or like outside you can be like, oh, I don't believe in God and this and this and that, but deep down inside, like, one knows what they believe, right? Isn't that the whole thing with God, right? Like whether you're able to repent and be like, I am wrong, I am this, and I am that. Isn't that the whole thing?
But it says you have to believe in your heart and profess with your mouth.
But from I don't know, maybe I'm
So
just like remembering.
You can't say that you accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, but then
No.
verbally say you don't believe that.
No, I'm
You know what I
saying
mean?
I'm saying you verbally say you don't believe in God or the teachings and this and that. But deep down inside, as a person, like, one knows what they truly believe, right? Whether you want to, again, like the same way you were denying God and this and this and that.
Mm-hmm.
But deep down inside, because I've heard you told me this. You deep down inside knew that that was.
Yeah, but I had accepted God as my Lord and Savior before that. I had accepted or believed in Jesus that way, in salvation in my teens. But after that, as far as following along and wanting to go along in a certain path, I rebelled against that path. But if it's not that I didn't believe in him, it's that I just was being obstinate and a troubled child. You know what I mean?
But isn't that the whole thing? Like,
but then do I believe I still would have went to heaven under those circumstances? Absolutely.
But that's what I'm saying, right? It's like you can go living your life doing wrong, doing this, doing that. But if you're able to come to terms with yourself and God or whatever, Jesus, whatever, like that is something that God or Jesus is.
Well, ultimately, it's your relationship. And what anybody else thinks of that relationship doesn't fucking matter. God will be the ultimate determinant of that. And, you know, I just wish the best for people, that they make the best choice for them. And
no, I was just going back to the point that Mike was saying, where he's like, I don't believe that he doesn't believe that he is at the doorstep of, like, if you were to pass right now, he doesn't believe that he'd be like, but isn't that the whole thing, right? Like, once you,
but he doesn't believe that because he doesn't believe he's good enough.
Exactly.
But he still believes that there is a God. And you do believe that it is a Christian God, or you don't believe that?
How much time we got?
That's pretty simple.
To answer your question, I believe in a higher power, whether it be, some people refer to the universe, or it could be a God, I believe, or some people accept aliens as their higher power. I believe there's a higher power. I just don't know exactly
so,
what.
And like, to feed off of that, right? In that instance, right, where you believe in a higher power, whether you call it a God or Jesus, that's my understanding from what I understand the Bible is.
That's
right?
not enough.
But from what I understand is God, as long as you as a human being understand that you are, like, to follow that power or whatever, whether you believe it to be Jesus or whatever other God, you understand.
But then you're putting idols before him. There's only one, so you just don't believe in that one.
But this just depends, because, like, it's the depiction of God, right? God has been depicted in many different forms and voices and this and that, right? Like, that's I guess where I'm coming from.
Yeah,
right?
but you either accept that the Bible is the inspired word of God, or you know,
Yeah, but the same, like, I don't know about you, but like growing up and like reading, especially the Catholic Bible, like there's a lot of stuff in there that just does not make sense to me. But that doesn't mean that I don't believe that there's something like a presence of something like a God that is here to do. Like, does that make sense? It like maybe not word for word, bar for bar. What they're saying is what I truly 100% believe, right?
No, but there's only the one part that you have to agree on.
Exactly.
That's it.
But whether you call him
but
God, Jesus, Muhammad, or whatever you call him.
You do have to.
You do?
Yes, that you do. Yeah.
I'm just,
that you do. Because the difference is, when you're getting there, the one believes that Jesus existed, but that he wasn't really the Son of God.
100%.
Okay, so if you that's not a thing. But he literally said he was. But so if you believe that's fine if that's someone's belief and they want to do that. But under my Christian beliefs, yeah, they ain't going.
But isn't that
they're not going to be in they're not going to be in the heaven that I go to.
I get that, but isn't that the whole thing about God is that he is the one being that will be like.
I don't think he says, well, you didn't quite make it, you didn't quite make it to the line of the belief you should have been, and I'll give you a pass. That what I was describing, at least to me, okay, that's the minimum standard. And that's just the minimum standard. Period. And it's pretty simple. It's pretty easy.
Black and white, you're saying?
That part is pretty black and white.
Really?
And I think he's on, he's at least, Mike is, in my belief, is at least on that, he's on that path that some people have to take smaller steps. And for him to get to the belief that Jesus Christ is the Son of God and died for his sins, he has to, he can't make that leap right now, and he's making a shorter leap in believing that there is a higher power, and he's trying to figure out what that is.
So this is the last question because we do need to move on to the next story.
Did I describe? No, but did I describe that correctly?
Yeah, no, it's a very complex. It's a complex conversation, but yeah, absolutely. Like I'm making my way there. I'm not going to sit here and tell you, I'm going to become, I'm going to end up as a Christian who goes to church every Sunday or anything like that.
And you don't have to. That's not a thing.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
No, I agree 100%. But slowly but surely, like, it used to be, if you would ask me 10 years ago, I would have absolutely scoffed at the idea of the fact that any God existed whatsoever.
Exactly.
Now,
it's your journey, man.
Yeah, it's all about the journey.
But I guess that's my whole, again, that very last comment before we move on to the next thing. God, I had it so perfect in my head. And now
I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
No, that's all right.
No, I really enjoyed having this conversation. But it's just, I don't know. From my understanding of Jesus and God, like, but again, I have a lot more Catholic upbringing. So I don't know if there's the slight differences between the Catholic and the Christian that make my opinion slightly different than yours.
I think there is a difference.
I agree.
Difference between the two. Other people will talk about them as they're the same.
No, there's two. And I think that's
but you're not far off.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
100%.
Like we're playing on the same.
I 100% agree. But from my understanding of Jesus and God is that he is going to give you the chance to like believe in him, right? Whether it's last minute, whether it is you got to do it for 20 million. That's my whole point, right? Whether you believe in a higher power, whether you call him God, whether you call him whatever you want to call him, God, from my understanding, is when you pass and you're in front of him, he's going to allow you come to the realization that all this bullshit that you didn't believe is actually true. Because as a God, as someone that is mighty in power, why would you not allow people?
I'm not an expert on purgatory, but that's kind of like what that sounds like to me, like that Catholic thing where you don't go to heaven and you don't go to hell and you gotta work things out over here.
That's
you
not
know
what
what I'm saying?
I'm talking about
your version of Catholicism is much different than the Catholicism that was in Ohio.
Oh yes,
that's another big issue as
well. But I'm just saying from my understanding is that there is no such thing as you're blocked out completely.
But you're supposed to believe without seeing. So you're telling me you're gonna die, you're gonna see him, and so he's gonna say, "You want to change your mind now?"
No.
Like,
It's
you
more.
see what I'm
It's,
saying? I know it sounds
it's
funny.
more. It's more the thought process of like. I'm not saying those people that are like parallel, like this or that, right? But yeah.
I do have a way of breaking shit down, don't I?
But-
in your own unique
My own
way,
way.
absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, yeah,
Yes.
as stupid as it sounds, yes.
Yeah.
As stupid as it sounds, yes.
Yes.
Because that's that. From what my understanding is, that is what God is. Is He's gonna
Yeah,
look you
I
in the
don't know
face?
that
He's gonna
happens.
say you've done all this fucked up shit, but because God knows who you are, right?
Yes.
They know your entire life. They
can't
know your
hide.
future.
Yes.
They know this, right? So God, when He's in front of you, He already knows whether or not you've already accepted Him, whether or not it's
Yes,
whether
of
it's in your
course.
eyes
Absolutely.
of again Jesus,
Absolutely. He's the
Muhammad.
only one that gets to make that decision. Absolutely.
But that's my point, right? Is
Right.
I understand God to be that person, right? So whether you believe Muslim, Jew, whatever the fuck you want to believe, right? The day you die, and if God, Jesus is real, He's gonna see you and look you in the face and be like, I understand who you are, I understand your beliefs, and blah 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 blah. But I understand who you are as a person, right? And like that, because that's the whole thing about God, right? Is like He loves His people. He wants the best for His people. Whether or not you loved Him your entire time and you followed Him this and this and that, He understands that you as a
I
person.
get that part, but if we're taking it a step further, that He's going to accept someone that didn't accept Him as
They
the
didn't
Christian God, then no.
But so realistically, from
because then you could believe in Nordic shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like still get it. And I'm like, no, that's not a thing.
but why not? Because
My God says not.
Yeah.
And to believe in my
That's
God, my God says no.
but
There are no other gods before me. I'm just saying that's what mine is. You don't have to believe in
No,
my
no,
God.
I'm not
just
disagreeing
saying
with what you're saying.
I'm just saying my God does not make it like
Exceptions.
Oh, you really you tried, but nobody actually spread the word. But that's why you're supposed to. That's
did your
part of
best.
the mission of the Christian faith is to profess God to others and travel, and that's why people go on missions and stuff to spread that and give people that. And how crazy is it that people do go to other nations where that might speak a language that only 1 million people speak, and they're hearing about God for the Christian God for the very first time, and how it affects them in their life, and they become Christians and follow, and you build churches and that. And
Well, this conversation right here
yeah.
is why 1,000-year wars have been started and fought.
and that's like one of the biggest reasons why.
But here's let
This
me
is the
here's
satire out of it.
and I'm not saying people in the name of Christianity haven't done bad things,
Absolutely not.
right?
Yeah.
They all have, but I will say this: it's not in the doctrine. It's not. It's not in my Bible
Exactly.
to kill other people that don't believe what I believe. There are other religions, and we know which one I'm talking about, that believes you either convert or I kill you.
But wasn't that part of the Christianity Bible at one point?
It might have been the actions of some people in the name, but just because somebody uses the name of God doesn't mean they're of God.
If
Do you
they
see what I
have-
mean?
If they have any sort of, they might have the same teachings, and this is where we're getting real deep. This is where Hermeticism comes in. We can talk about it in another episode. But the teachings of Hermeticism is all started during the Hellenistic period, which is when Christianity started. Alexander the Great, he was conquering. I think this is when he was going into Egypt. So they might have the same foundations, but the way that certain people interpret things, your God thinks, just because he's not this way, he doesn't deserve to die. But that person's God, he doesn't think like that, bomb his ass. Like, that's the difference there. So
Yeah.
they might have the same basis of teachings, but it's been so far to where like it's almost unrecognizable at this point. At least on that side.
Sure.
On that side.
All right, well, that was not on the list you sent me
Nope.
for today.
It was not.
Just saying.
No, it was not.
Impromptu.
It's like, but that was good. That was all right.
I definitely enjoyed it.
And I am not a scholar. Let me just point
None of
that out.
none of us
I am
are here
not
on the
a
show. None of
Bible
us are.
scholar like that. I admire people who can, who could do like Charlie Kirk could do, and just cite and talk in that way, and people that are teachers in that way that understand
Getting
those
pissed off
things.
is the biggest thing.
See, to me, that's like a nerd. you know, the nerd version. I'm not the nerd version. That's like an accountant. Remember, I was an accountant. I was a financial advisor.
Yeah.
See, accountants are nerds. Financial advisors, we're big picture guys. So you think we're numbers people because we're investment financial people. We're not numbers people that way. We're big picture people. And,
for sure.
and that's it. And we all have different roles that we play. And I have a role that I believe God has given me to play, and that, you know, I'm supposed to share and do. And that's why I still cuss and do the fucking shit I do, is because I'm talking to a group of people that another Christian who might think that, you know, the way I sound, the way I talk is just horrible. Well, I'm talking to a group of people that aren't Christians yet, that will never listen to that motherfucker. And God uses me in that way to reach out to, you know, those people. And even uses my business, you know, with testosterone and shit, you know. I ended up talking to someone yesterday about their health and their labs and stuff. And, you know, because of that, we ended up getting over into, because he hadn't disclosed it to me, that he has some spots of cirrhosis on his liver. Well, I immediately know that 99% of the time that's alcohol related.
Yeah.
So I was able to make that other connection with him. Do you think someone else that's reading, or even his doctor's reading, is talking to this guy about, you know, that he stopped drinking last May, and I think he just stopped on his own. He's not going to AA. And if you're a true alcoholic, stopping on your own willpower is so hard, and to stay sober that way,
and it's
just very, 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 very hard. So I just opened that door to him. You know, look, I am somebody that you could talk to about that, you know, it's been this way for you, but you have an argument with your wife and you normally would go drink after that argument. If you need to talk to somebody, you know, call me before you take that drink. Yeah. If you take that drink after you call me, you do. But do yourself the right thing and make that phone call first. But I think God uses me in that way, even though, but I met the person through, he's low T, you know what I mean? It's all interconnected for me. Yeah, and some people just don't understand. They don't understand that about me. Leo does now, because it's weird. It's fucked up shit, dude. It's like, you get the way God blesses me. It's just, I tell you, this, you might think it's just coincidence or whatever, but I had my reading glasses. And I have several pairs, and these are actually like designer reading glasses. So they're like $100 a pair. These, nice. Okay. And I have a few of them because I like to match shit, right? I get it. you know? And yesterday at the gym, when we were leaving, I couldn't find the pair that I had. And so I couldn't find it. Nobody turned it in, and everybody turns in everything at the gym. And I had lost a red pair, and they said they didn't have it. And when I asked them about this brown pair I just lost, you know, in the last 30 minutes, and they were looking through their thing, there was the red pair. And I had actually ordered another red pair to replace it. So I have two red pair now. But I have that. And it ended up, I found it because sometimes, you know, if I'm using a certain machine, if I have them in my pocket, they'll fall out at that machine if it's a seated machine like that. And especially if I'm driving a vehicle, if they're in my right pocket, it goes right down in there. Oh, that's where my brown ones were. But if I hadn't not lost my brown ones, because I really didn't lose them, if I had not lost them, I wouldn't have gotten my red ones back. It is just like, you know, it's stupid little things.
Little
like
shit,
that.
I understand like the thought process of it.
Yeah.
To the trans,
I know it's crazy to some people.
You're fucking lucky I didn't get the finish. You're lucky. But unlucky for you, we make more.
So
episodes.
I want to do this before we're done. Can we do that? Can we do this on my Facebook?
I'll give you the option. We can either go over this first and then do on this day, or we can do on this day and then
let's do on this day. End with this.
All right. Take it away, Mike. I know you love this.
I mean, I do, but these choices kind of suck.
Well, good.
Just say the ones you like.
Well, I say the one that stuck out to me. 1804, Ohio University in Athens, Ohio, becomes the first U.S. land grant college when it is chartered. To everybody that talks shit on Ohio, fuck you. All right. Next, we have 1879. French sculptor Frédéric Auguste Bartholdi I don't know why I said that Italian, but is awarded a U.S. patent for his design for the Statue of Liberty. And then we had
because we're a bunch of people gonna like make statues of liberty. You needed a patent on it because you didn't want people copying that shit.
Motherfuckers were
Isn't that really what a patent is for?
Does that work?
Is
Is it only on
money
like
off.
these like 1-to-1 replica of the Statue of Liberty, or because like obviously people make like smaller like
you can patent it and then you can license it out to be sold.
Okay, so he made some money off of that then.
I mean,
It's like
I guess.
I mean, probably in a different.
I mean, does that mean the little statues that you buy on a table in New York City? You know, he gets 10 cents of that.
That's what I'm saying. Like
I don't know.
This one I did I found kind of interesting. 1928, USA 2 beats USA 1 by 0.5 seconds for the 5-man bobsleigh gold medal at St. Moritz Winter Olympics, and Germany 2 takes bronze. So we got 2 out of the 3 top medals in the Olympics. I'm assuming that's because not enough countries were able to compete yet, and maybe didn't have the infrastructure to get there.
Interesting enough, let me just interrupt there. If you haven't done it, you should check it out, and anybody listening can check it out. Just do a search for Jason Kelsey, the football player that retired from the Eagles, offensive lineman. There is a great video out of him now where he trained, where he went down the hill. But before they went down the hill on a 4-man bobsled, they made sure they checked his speed, his ability to push the sled, and just he had to go through some different things. Yeah. And he actually didn't perform badly because he is an athlete, right? Big dude. And so he got to do this at where they train for this here in the U.S. And when he went down, like for legit, man, he was screaming like a little fucking girl. 84, 85 miles an hour, getting the fuck beat out of you. Because, you're tight. There's no room in there. And you're just banging up against that shit and just super crazy. It is pretty good. It's like 17 minutes long, but it was actually pretty cool. Yeah, I did watch that.
A big
it was
dude like
cool.
that, I can imagine trying to fit in there.
And did you see, I just saw today, I thought it was an old lady. Okay. I thought she was way older, but I just saw, because I was talking to a friend about it that's into the Olympics and skiing. My friend is named Gino Chipetta. Love you, Gino. We hadn't talked in quite a while. And he had just gotten back from vacation skiing, big time skier. And we were talking about this woman. I believe it was the monobob, they call it, the 1-man bobsled. That she won gold she won a medal for like the 5th time. She's 41 years old. I swear to God, dude, I'm 57. If she's 41, then I'm 29. She looked old. I mean, maybe it's because she didn't have makeup on, but I was still shocked. Like, because I thought she was even older than 41. Yeah. Like, I mean, because Lindsey Vonn is like 40, 41 or that age, And I understand why on a fucked up knee, she decided to do it anyways and paying a serious price for that decision, but it's your last chance.
Yeah, so she's
but the difference in looks, not that looks matter, is an 8 or 9 and a 4. Man, this woman is not just old. Like it's just surprising. But congratulations to her. I think it's awesome that she won the medal. I'm not trying to shit on her
Olympic
about that. It sounds like I am, but
that's a cool thing to have no matter what.
Yeah,
it's just you get that nice little hardware too. It's a cool conversation.
Yeah, but I guess there's something I have spent. Spent less time. Something there, like the medals are fucked up.
They're the most expensive medals in Olympics history, and they break easier than they ever have.
Yeah, something fucked up about that shit.
Like
you know what I am interested in watching?
What's up?
The finals, the women's hockey finals.
Oh, really?
Fuck Canada, man. I'm serious, man.
51st state.
Yeah. Fuck those bitches, man. I mean, how desperate are you to have to cheat at curling? You know what I mean? You're pretty desperate.
You probably got the whole world against them now, honestly. Nobody likes
fuck
cheaters.
Canada, man.
Not in that stage, at least.
So, anyways, yeah, but I definitely will be watching the women's hockey. I've watched 2 of the 3, the second and third games of the men's in their
they're doing
their pool. Yeah, they were 3-0.
Yeah, they're doing pretty good.
Yeah, they're doing pretty good. And they got their, and what I like about it is usually you don't say soup because it's one of the things that has over the last 10 years, like has turned me a little more off of hockey is because they don't fight as much as they used to. I grew up with hockey players fighting.
They're not
You know what
allowed
I
to in
mean?
the Olympics.
Yeah, they're not allowed to in the Olympics, but even they frown upon it, even in the professional ranks now.
Bunch
They
of
make it
fucking pussies or what?
harder and harder to do. And like, but this team, yeah, they're not allowed to, but this team is physical as fuck. They will
Oh, yeah.
fuck you up.
Well,
Yeah, I love that. I love that, you know, how they engage like that.
I mean they still fight pretty often. It's just not as much as it's like, can we play hockey? That's how much they were fighting back in the day. Now
Yeah,
it's like,
I mean, but we had a small minor league team in Toledo, you know, and yeah, they like at a because I was a season ticket holder for that, and then there came to a point where it was hard to even, you know, we might go games without seeing a fight. It's like, geez, oh, Pete's, man, come on. You know what I mean?
Last year in the Four Nations face-off,
Yes,
it was
that's
incredible.
Yes.
One of my favorite things in sports right now.
Absolutely.
But Canada and USA, literally not even 2 seconds in, they fucking dropped the gloves and
yes.
swung on each other.
And those two brothers
the
on this. Yeah,
the Chuck brothers, yeah,
they're on this.
They're bad motherfuckers.
I love those dudes.
Yeah,
they're
they're
hated,
tough.
and I love them that they're hated.
Yeah,
you know,
they're tough.
It's
That's why.
awesome. Yes, I
don't-
love that.
they don't give
so
a fuck.
I'll
That's
I'll
why.
watch that too.
Yeah.
Anyways,
All right.
all right, go ahead. You can finish.
Interesting one. On this day in 1970, U.S. President Richard Nixon launches the Nixon Doctrine.
Okay.
I know that was
I'm
rocky news. And then
I like Nixon.
the last one I find interesting. On this day in 1977, American rock band Kiss plays their first concert in their hometown venue of Madison Square Garden in New York City. And that is what we got for on this day.
I didn't know New York was their hometown.
Neither did I.
I didn't know that.
Learned
I
something new.
thought they were from the UK.
Hell no. Hell, you're probably thinking like Rolling
Beat-
Stones or like
Oh, the Rolling Stones probably then.
Beatles or
The Beatles, I knew they were from the UK, but I don't know. Kiss gives British vibes. I don't know if that's just me or not. I don't know if it's like the makeup or I don't know if it was the time period. Yeah, it might have just been the time
Might
period.
have been the time period, but that's awesome. Yeah. All right. On this day, great.
So next up, we do have one of your personal favorites,
Yep.
Dumbass News. And
No, we're actually gonna hold on to that one
and we're
until the
gonna wait
next
till the
episode
next show. Sorry.
because
All right.
we are gonna be covering. I'm not quite sure what we're covering, but we're covering it.
Oh, that is right.
Well, here's what we're covering.
Yeah, give the people a breakdown.
Let me give you this breakdown. I've been struggling, and I've mentioned that I've been struggling with. I want to believe in my fellow man. I really honestly do. But I am so disappointed in how dumb, how we just have such a great number of people that are dumb as shit. That I just wonder, as adults, how the fuck do they get through a day? You know what I mean? And not just political wise, but you can take it political wise and other things. I'm just like, are you kidding me? You're an adult in this. So here's the thing. I'm in this group, Life in Queen Creek. I've been in a Gilbert group too. And this particular group, I mean, most of us are in this, about half of us that aren't idiots that are in this group, if it's even half of us, are in just to see the comments and just like make fun of the stupid posts that people make. You know, some people use the group legitimately and ask for, you know, advice or things in the area and things like that, and which is fine. But there's a group of people that are consistently or regularly posting about some cop car goes by their neighborhood and they're on the group asking people where they went, what'd they do, who was pulled over. Like they're the nosiest fucking shit that's not your fucking business. You know what I mean? Kind of shit.
What?
Right.
Fuck.
So here's this one. This is one that was posted. And Sean Robinson, and I believe Sean is a woman by checking out the Facebook. Does anyone have any information about the car accident that happened around 7:15 on the 17th of February at the entrance to Orchard Ranch community on Ellsworth? I drove by at 7:30, and I don't know how they knew there was an accident there 15 minutes prior to that, but no police there yet. There was a person laying on the ground, and I've been thinking about this all day and praying everyone is okay. But they didn't stop.
Yeah,
they didn't care all that much.
Yeah.
Just prayers, little prayer hands. And so there's just some different comments. This was just one of them. And I don't know if Robert is the husband or the boyfriend or whatever. I think because they do have the same last name, but go up a little bit higher. And where it says most relevant, hit all comments. Yeah. Now go to the top. Okay. Well, I was trying to find the one with her. You can go down. Hit view previous replies. Oh, man, we were right there. Yeah. So the one person, we're I'll get to hers too, but go up. We'll start there. We're having too many car wrecks out here. Well, first it started that the woman, we'll find one of hers where she's talking about speeding. And how do you know the person was speeding, that speeding what was caused the accident? Well, just people do. And if they are, they shouldn't be, but here's the thing. You're flying by. Yeah, you need to go to that Patty one there too. But let me go through the ones with Sean first. I'll do those. So we're having too many car wrecks out here. And we do have a fair number of accidents around here. We have a lot of traffic.
Oh, yeah, we do.
But we have a lot of traffic. And so my response was, because how dumb people are, I must be in a smartass. Yes, ban cars. And then Sean, this is the chick, maybe ban people who speed. That would prevent a lot of wrecks. Think about that for a second. Maybe ban people who speed. That would prevent a lot of the wrecks. Well, the same argument that people make about, guns. If we should ban guns and then, right? But, ban people who speed. And so my response was, my God, did you even read your comment? It is illegal to speed, dipshit. So just banning something or making something illegal doesn't mean people are going to stop.
Yeah,
that's the dumbest thing you could fucking say. Man, do you know what I mean? How just stupid that is? What's your thought process in saying that? Are you even thinking even a little bit at all?
If only somebody would have thought of that before.
Yeah, I got it. We should just tell people to stop. Make a law. That'll do it.
New United States president, right there.
And then he said, "No need to be rude, dude. She's absolutely right. Those who speed need to be punished. They are. We get tickets." And I told him I was going to post about this today. You two are a joke, which I'll be sharing live this morning.
I love that. Letting them know, hey.
Always some liberal who thinks he's better than everyone. Well, wow. I'm not a liberal, dude.
Maybe you should tune into the show and fucking figure that out.
And I said, demonstrates how common sense isn't so common. Not worth arguing with him. Well, you people are just stupid.
And you keep replying.
Yeah. Go to more replies. Hit more replies.
All those liberals, huh?
Yeah, this one. Yeah, because that Sean responds to her. People need to slow down. Patty Smith says, yes, they do. No reason for the speeding. And that's where I said, how do you know they were speeding? More than likely someone was. You know what? How accidents mostly happen?
People obstructing the flow of traffic.
Distracted. They're distracted by something. Their phone, something. They're distracted. If you'd ask a cop, I think that would be his number one answer. Somebody gets distracted. That's it. It's not speeding isn't necessarily going to cause an accident, but being distracted can cause an accident at any fucking speed.
Yeah, I agree.
But then people need to slow down, and that's why I said, you were dumb as a rock. Do you need a hug or attention or what? I just hammered him. But I can't believe it. Yeah, I'll go back in there when the show's over for those, because I'm not done with those people yet. Not if you're calling me a liberal. And if you're conservative, that's what I'm worried about.
I'll take that one to
so
heart.
Here's the problem.
It's because they're labeling those things as liberal traits, but they're
right. But what the problem is they're conservative, and they're dumb as shit, dude. I talk about dumb liberals all the time.
Oh, there's dumb conservatives.
But we have a shit ton of dumb fucking conservatives.
Stupid doesn't discriminate.
I am just like. Because I try to be positive, I try to have a good thing, and I'm like, seriously, man, seriously, it's hard to maintain my positiveness that I want to maintain when you have people that are that fucking dumb. Like, hello, yeah, that just is the one, yeah.
Oh yeah, it's just a microcosm, of the macrocosm of their life.
Yeah, ban people who speed. Okay. Oh my God.
The thing is,
but look at how many people commented about this, though. They're going on like,
you're
the
only one that mentioned that. Oh, if they should ban people that speed. You're the only one that's like, hello, we fucking do. The rest of them they're all just like either ignoring it or they're just I don't even know what the fuck they're saying. That's hilarious, though.
Oh, yeah, I'll be telling him, look, if you're conservative, we're taking your Republican voting card or whatever. Like, you're not allowed to be one of us. And I'm in charge of that. And we don't want you because you're dumb.
I agree.
You're dumb.
Like that. I'm with those policies. You ever thought about running for office?
Oh, dude. What? No.
Remember when you're all like, if
the QAnon shaman can run for office, anybody can.
I remember when the Trump election was going around, and it was around the same time where people were like, oh, he has X amount of felonies and this and this. And everybody still got elected. Troy was like, you know what?
Maybe I have a chance.
He thought about it. He, for a few weeks, was like, you know what? Hey, but there might be a chance. I was like, you know what, Troy? I'm gonna back you up, man.
You know how many? I have some things.
Yeah, got some things.
And none of them are really elimination things anymore. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
like
non-negotiables.
Well, I mean, like pedophilia. If you're a pedophile, you know what I mean, or something like that, or but
burnt alive.
The things I've done. Yeah.
Angel compared to these people.
Yeah, I think like there was a time when it was eliminated. There was I forget what senator it was off the top of my head.
John Kerry, was he one of them? I thought John Kerry ran in that one.
Yeah, he might have, but there was another guy similar to John Kerry that he was eliminated because there was a picture of him ended up in the Inquirer of a woman being on his lap that wasn't his wife. And that was enough to be totally eliminated.
Done.
Like, you're done. We caught you. You're done. No you don't get to run for office.
Yeah.
And, Bill Clinton changed all that.
Well, him and Monica Lewinsky.
You could do it. Yeah. Yeah, you could. Yeah.
Definitely point back to that stuff. 100%.
For sure. That was the time period when it all changed. That stuff like that used to eliminate you, after that wasn't an elimination card anymore.
So what are we saying?
Crazier.
Troy
crazier.
for president, 2020, was it
26?
I tell you what I could do, because we're not going to get into it today, but recently, this past weekend, AOC speaking in Germany. Man, find the clip and play it, you'll know it's the right one, because she's it's all about she was asked a question about Taiwan and defending Taiwan if China were to
invade.
Dude, she made herself look like a buffoon. Very similar to Kamala. What Kamala would do. In fact, AOC was even worse. Her word salad was even worse, and that's hard to do. And it was just bad. And even other Democrats have had to say, she's been talked about. This is out of her league. Yeah. And then she said, I believe that Venezuela was south of the equator, and it's not. She got her geography wrong, and
if that was Trump, they would really
bad.
Put him at the
are
stake.
you kidding me?
If he would have got that wrong,
my God,
he's considered the acting president of Venezuela right now, and people are like a riot about that.
Totally crazy, man.
It's fucking nuts.
It's totally crazy.
She also fucking
so
sucks
stupid.
though. I hate her.
She's so stupid.
She is everything wrong
yes.
with politics.
But yeah, here's the other thing. You know what? But they do make more money after. But just initially speaking, I always say about being president, I wouldn't want to take the pay cut.
Yeah, I say he's making $0, right?
What?
You don't want to just
Isn't Trump
realize.
making $0?
Well, Trump gives away.
No,
he gets paid,
Well, I mean,
but
like,
he donates it.
profiting,
But
yeah.
I'm still saying like $500, $550, whatever they're paid.
It's not.
No, to be the leader of the free world,
Fuck that.
$550,000.
Fuck that. You saw.
That's chump change, man.
Yeah, but he
Obama
has so many, like, as a president, you get so many perks. Like, you're telling me if you were to go to, like, a restaurant
fuck
or something
no.
like that, they're not going to be like, oh, this one's on us.
Obama pre-presidency, and then after his first term, he's
Yeah,
little
that's what I'm
gray
saying. Maybe
hairs.
I'd be good on the other end. But initially, my initial thought process is taking that initial pay cut.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't want to take that pay cut.
Hell no. Absolutely not.
I don't know. But
For a thankless job like that, for the most part. Even people that support you are going to bitch at you at some point.
yeah.
So you're getting it
people
from
are
both sides.
assholes, man.
Yeah. You're right.
It doesn't
Fuck
matter.
that. Fuck being the president. Be a dick.
I don't know who, like, I don't understand the people that are born. They're like, you know what? I want to be the president.
Well, they have good intentions, and then
I don't know
they
about
grow
that.
up.
And
then they grow up.
Yeah, and then they grow up, and politics pretty much just strips
They're
everything.
very self-absored.
That is
All
true.
of them.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah, you do.
You have to have that
You
quality.
have to have
an
that
ego.
the
You do
quality.
have to have.
You
an
have to
ego.
have a huge ego
It's
to think that
mandatory,
you're that good enough.
because you have to
to be able
convince
to do
everybody
that.
that you are better.
But
than
that
everyone.
bar is so low now, and it wasn't
Yeah.
set by Trump.
No.
I mean, but the
Hell
bar, like,
The reason Trump
even-
was able to get in because the bar was set so low.
Yes and no.
But
Like,
but he's done something though, whether you agree with it or not, or like
Yeah.
his policies or not.
Who would have
whether
taken
he
him
ripped
serious?
somebody off or whatever, he still made the billions of dollars that all wasn't given to him.
I'm not going to disagree
and,
with that
and,
part.
and that kind of stuff. He's done something where these other people, like I'm talking about at the state level,
That's what I'm saying. Like,
and
realistically,
stuff.
like
these
if
people,
the standard was a little higher, Trump wouldn't have been considered like, oh, he's not a politician, so why are we going to let him run?
Because
that's exactly what happened though.
But that's what
But he
I'm saying,
was
because
able
the
to- he
standard
was-
is so...
No, he broke that standard. He just defied all odds. They just didn't think that was possible to be able to do
It was
that.
a big joke. It was.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
even
you-
at first, I mean, I was younger. At first, I was like, "Oh, Donald Trump for president. Oh, that's funny."
Yeah, but
then it
when you
happened.
actually go back and you listen to him 10 years prior, on Oprah or any other show, even The View.
I can't believe
Even
they
The
could even
View.
sit in the
They
same room
hugged
as
his
him.
ass on The View.
And now they talk shit.
Yeah, they
24/7.
hugged him. Okay. Yeah. Jesse Jackson passed. God rest his soul. Jesse Jackson, there was a day. Jesse Jackson loved Donald Trump.
Yeah, when
Took
he was
pictures
useful.
with Donald Trump. Donald Trump gave him office space and some of the best space that you can have in New York City. Gave it to him for his Rainbow Coalition. Gave it to him on Wall Street. Yeah, that's when, he wasn't racist then because he wasn't running for president.
And yeah, it wasn't. Yeah.
But the things that he said about China and trade and where our country was,
Right.
he never strayed from that. From that time point on, he was more middle of the road. He was more pragmatic. He was really more Democrat.
Yeah.
He basically converted to be a Republican. And that's why I always say when in discussion with people, I'm more MAGA than Trump. I'm MAGA motherfucker, and I'm not going anywhere. I'm Make America Great Again before Trump started using the phrase.
He's in there because of people like you and me.
I'm gonna send you a video that I just recently watched where they go over the different the time periods of the government. There are people, or a lot of these like political scientists or whatever, are saying that MAGA is the new, because you know how like people have always said like MAGA is just a part of the Republican Party. There's like a bunch of like this political scientists that are saying that this is a new, I forget what the word they were using, but this is a new time period where it's no longer Republican. It's a new
version.
A new version of it.
Takes-
Because I didn't realize
Right.
how
We're not
many
letting those people back in power. that used to be Republican that are never Trumpers now. There's about 75% of us.
But that's what they're saying, and that's why like they're saying that the death of the Republican Party and the Democrat Party are coming is because of that. That MAGA is now the new party. I didn't realize how many different versions of the parties have happened within the past and they've all had the same exact name because they're fucking.
Well,
regardless, because you didn't have a choice.
Yeah,
you had to join one of the two.
Exactly. Yeah.
Unfortunately.
But now it's been steered upon, and especially by my generation, that we're just different than the original Republicans and conservatives when it comes to, like weed and shit like that, But back then, back then I was smoking the weed. You know what I mean?
You're taking
haven't 17 years, but I was conservative even though I smoked weed. There was a whole bunch of people like me, like that we were conservative fiscally and stuff like that, and we were also war hawks. I've become less of a war hawk like that, we have, because it just didn't work out. I'm part of a group where I wish there was more, but that we don't. If something doesn't work, I want to change it. Stop doing it, not just continuing on and on and on and on, because that's not how it works. But politically, they almost force you to, which is why it's so hard to say you're wrong, and they make it so hard for Trump to say is wrong. Every president should be able to say they were wrong. Like I just heard a discussion about the tariffs this was about I think the H-1B visas, that they were doing, and that we put some policies in place that we thought we were going to be more protective of our engineers here, and now it's like they're building places for these engineers like over there, like in India. Okay, well, we got that wrong. We had the right idea, but the results of that idea are not giving us the result that we want. So we should be able to say, hold on here. We need to change course before we go any further. We implemented this to do this, and it's having a way different result than we thought it was going to. Just like people should have to acknowledge that the tariffs are giving a way different result than what they thought it was. Oh, the consumer pays it. The consumer has paid very little, less than 5-10% of the tariffs. It's been absorbed by the company that's selling the product and the company that imports the product. It's been absorbed, and it's cut into their profit margins.
Thank you for
now. At a certain other point, it could, if it kept going, it could have an effect on inflation. But it's been a year now, and you don't get to just keep saying it's going to do this, and a year later, well, it should have happened in a year, and it hasn't. And real smart people said, you know what? We were wrong about that. Trump is right about that. Well, okay, but it should be easier, and we don't make it easy for them to say they're wrong. Yeah, no, because you get hammered.
Nobody
you
wants
just
to
get
admit
hammered. You're wrong. They just like it's so hard on either of those sides. But there we go.
They hold that against you.
Yeah. All right, that's my shit for today.
Good show.
Yeah, thanks. Check us out on all the different social medias. Send me some clips. I need some clips for my Facebook and some places. You can check it out there. Join us. Hit that follow button. Please hit that subscribe button. And we'll be back on Friday. And we should know about the interview by Friday, too, when we're going to have the interview of Alante up. We might know by then.
I don't, like I said,
you don't want to promise.
I don't want to promise you anything, but I'm currently working on it.
Right, but
within 2 weeks.
But okay.
Within 2 weeks, it will be uploaded.
All right.
Guaranteed.
Okay. That's good. That's what we want to know. And we're going to be doing another interview tomorrow. We're working very hard over here to really provide the content and keep pushing things along. We can't do it without you. So thank you. Join us again on Friday live somewhere about 9 o'clock. This is the Outlaw Apostle Podcast. I'm your host, Troy Neff. I'm the fucking guy.
Who knew I would make it this far? They hated, they never believed me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball. I know I make it look easy. Yeah, Mayweather with the defense. I don't care what a critic got to say. I got them picking up the pieces. Playing with your life, I'm about to come and run it all.